Good evening, gentlemen. We are here
Hello.
to talk about Manchester City versus Club Brugge, a game that we won 5-1 last time we played them. It's the Champions League again, Champions League week, coming off the back of a Premier League defeat against the mighty Crystal Palace. Yeah, it could be a very tough game, right? Because 5-1, absolutely misleading scoreline. European teams are the pinnacle. This is what we aim for in football. This is why we win that crappy Premier League trophy every year, because we want to play with the European big boys. Again, 5-1. This is going to be a tight game, right?
You sound like you're really excited about it, mate.
Bartek, you're not excited for Club Brugge?
It's an ideal game to have coming off the back of a defeat and not scoring in like 3 games or 2 games. It's a great result because hopefully we'll see some goals, get our confidence up going into the derby, But it's the Champions League group game. You know my feelings on it. I'm not going to sit here and dance and party. It's going to be a good game.
Throw your arms around, Matt, and say you're excited.
Oh, no, listen, I'm going to enjoy the game because me, my son and my father are all going, which will be good. Can't wait for that one.
Oh, there'll be 3 people there then at least.
Yeah, there'll be 3 people there at least.
We'll be the 3 people in the family stand.
City aren't charging 50 quid a ticket for this one.
This is the pinnacle of football though, right?
Well, I think Bruges got off to a good start in the Champions League. But I think part of that was also PSG kind of started the season slowly. They didn't have a lot of the key players, and they were just outplayed in that game against Bruges. Leipzig, I think they'll lose to PSG in the follow-up game. I think they'll probably lose to Leipzig in the follow-up game. I think should easily beat them once again.
Well, this is what I've got to ask you. So, with 3 games in, let's say we take 3 points off Club Brugge, which, 5 beating and 5-1 at their place, very deceptive scoreline, obviously. Let's say we do struggle over the line and get 3 points.
In Europe.
Well, I mean, yeah, they are the pinnacle of Europe. Let's say that we struggle over the line and get 3 points against them. That puts us on 9 points. 9 points enough for qualification, considering we've got to play PSG and Leipzig again?
I would say 10. They generally say 10 points as your marker to get over into it. And Leipzig are bottom of the group. 0.
Yeah, no, I think 9 points is enough because Bruges are third. If Leipzig were on 4 points and Bruges were on no points, then I'd be a bit more concerned. But because it's Bruges on 4 points, Leipzig no points, I don't see any chance of us being caught. Probably even at this. Well, I think even a draw would get us over the line.
With 2 games to go, we've got to play Paris Saint-Germain at the Etihad. Obviously, Paris Saint-Germain beat us 2-0 a couple of weeks ago. Let's say we do the business against them, get 3 points. We'll finish this group with like 12 points or something.
If we beat
13 points if we get a draw, whatever.
We'd have to win both their last 2, and we'd have to lose both our last 2.
On that, Ryan, I wouldn't want a draw because I think it will have pressure back on the team.
A draw. I'm just saying that I think a draw would be enough.
I know you might say a draw's enough. I don't think it would in the bigger context going forward.
Well, okay, again, so a draw or a win, whatever, we'll get some points out of the last 3 games. If we get 3, we'll squeak through. If we get 4 or 5, let's say that we draw our last 2 games, we'll still go through because as Ryan clearly pointed out, RB Leipzig is at bottom of the group with 0 points, and Club Brugge are our next closest, and they're on 4. So it's us definitely. I'd say get a win on Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever. Get a win in the midweek, and we're in the driving seat for at least the 2nd place, and then it comes down to what result we can get against Paris Saint-Germain. Really, then if we beat Paris Saint-Germain, then we win the group. Pretty much. What about team changes? What's going to happen? Are we going to see Zach Steffen come out? Or are we going to see Laporte play in the Champions League because he can't play in the Premier League? Are we going to see Nathan Ake? Zinchenko, is he back now? Tell me all about it. Cole Palmer, maybe?
I think Edison plays because we're not through. And it's Pep, and we're not through. Go strong.
Even if we're after, I think goalkeeper doesn't necessarily change in Champions League.
No,
really.
That's a good point. The only thing, Stones I would like to see, just to get some proper minutes, just to get proper, just to get some proper minutes in his leg for the derby, because we know Laporte's out for the next. I don't know if it's 1 or 3 games. That hasn't been clear. I presume it's 3 games.
I assume it's 3 because it's a straight red.
Yeah. So Stones is going to need minutes. So I would like to see Stones. Ake, I wouldn't have an issue with him playing. I'm probably expecting Sterling to play.
Sterling and Mahrez, maybe a Cole Palmer.
Yeah. I don't think Cole Palmer. I think because I think Cole Palmer comes into the reckoning once we're qualified.
But that pretty much means he won't come into the reckoning then, because the way you're talking, you're acting as if we need a result in all 3 of our games. Or
No. I would expect Cole Palmer to maybe play against PSG. Because I think
that's bold. Because surely we go out with our strongest team against PSG. You see what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, I'm literally saying the opposite of you. I'm saying that if Cole Palmer's going to get Champions League minutes, it's against either Leipzig or Bruges, and you're saying no, it's against Paris Saint-Germain. And a lot of people would say, well, Martin, if he's an academy player coming through, then it's highly unlikely he'll play against PSG because City will want to field what City consider to be their best 11, and Cole Palmer, as good as he is, isn't in that best 11. So
I would agree with that, but I think City will beat Bruges and then they'll beat Leipzig and then they're through, and then the PSG becomes a little bit of a.
But again, I'm saying that
it does. But if it comes down to who finishes top, I think
that's what I'm saying.
To me, that doesn't matter.
No, I know.
Yeah, I don't think it.
We don't think.
I don't think it does matter. But
we don't think it matters. But it's about what City are thinking.
It does matter from like the perspective of you want to finish top and you get the easier draw or whatever. But
you want to finish top and you want revenge over Paris Saint-Germain. That's what City are looking at.
If we'd have beaten Palace, then I'd say there'd have been more chance Cole Palmer playing. Because we've come off 2 defeats, I know the West Ham isn't really a defeat. I don't think Pep will take any chances on Wednesday night. And I think it'll come down to...
I know, does that mean De Bruyne's going to play?
Well, I think Gundogan will play, right? Surely Gundogan plays.
That's the big question. Gundogan has to play.
Because I actually want Gundogan to play in the derby, so surely...
Rest Bernardo and play De Bruyne with Gundogan.
I don't think you can. I don't think no matter who the opponent is, I don't think you can rest Bernardo. You have to rest De Bruyne because De Bruyne's way off it. I made a call a couple of weeks ago and I got laughed at for it, and I said that Kevin De Bruyne should miss the next month of football. No, I said that 3 weeks ago. Kevin De Bruyne. I have mentioned it a few times, but it's still because Kevin De Bruyne is a shadow. He's a shadow, mate. He is not Kevin De Bruyne that we all know and love. Ilkay Gundogan deserves game time over him right now. Jack Grealish, with someone like Jack Grealish, is it a case of that you just persevere with him and keep on playing him until he comes good? Will he ever come good? Not got a clue. So you tell me. You're saying Cole Palmer plays against PSG. I think it's a bit of a heads gone. I think that if Cole Palmer's going to play against anyone, it's going to be Leipzig and Bruges. I just don't know anymore what the City team's going to look like.
Yeah, and that's the point. None of us actually know because Pep's doing something that a little bit we're a bit unsure. And the big thing is, let's not forget here, it's the derby at weekend. So is Pep gonna? Yeah, this is why I'm saying
that's why I wouldn't be playing Bernardo.
Yeah, but the thing about Bernardo, Ryan Bernardo Silva is the key to all of our success. Now, and it's a double-edged sword because if you play Bernardo Silva against Club Brugge and he gets injured, if we go into the Manchester derby without Bernardo Silva, we're done. We're screwed.
Yeah, we're not. But we're talking about not playing him against Bruges in.
Yes, I know. But this is the thing: we need 3 points against Bruges to ensure that we definitely finish second. But we also need to not lose.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah, we also need to not lose against Club Brugge because of the finishing second. But we also need Bernardo Silva to play because he's our only hard-working midfielder. But if we lose Bernardo Silva, we're screwed for the derby. So it's what team do you play?
Medium. That's why he'll play Mahrez, Sterling, Fernandinho. You'll get an happy medium and he'll go that way.
And I think Gundogan will start with Rodri or Fernandinho as the defensive one, whoever. I don't think it makes a difference, really.
I think the big call is fullbacks.
I expect to see Cancelo at right back and Zinchenko at left back.
I think it's the third midfield slot. Do you say play one of Bernardo or De Bruyne? Do you play maybe Palmer or do you play Grealish in midfield?
So are we dropping Foden completely here?
You want Foden in the derby, surely.
You want Bernardo. This is the problem.
You want
Bernardo.
right. Well, guaranteed.
Is that number 9 like he did in the first game against Brugge?
I think the interesting one, Martin. The interesting one is okay. You want Kyle Walker in the derby, so you play Cancelo at right back. But Pep seems to prefer Cancelo at left back in the big games. So what does this mean for Zinchenko? Does Zinchenko Does Cancelo play at right back, Zinchenko at left back, and then when it comes to the derby, definitely Walker at right back, Cancelo at left back? What's going on? Don't know. Couldn't tell you. I'm lost.
This is the problem at West Ham where Cancelo might start at right back and then they'll get swapped at half time, and you'll get Zinchenko at left back. I think you might get something like that.
That's a shout, that, Ryan.
But I'm against that. I got told, well, giving players 45 minutes, because players tend to get injured around the 60-minute mark, which is completely true. But you're forgetting the fact that even if
a warm up or warm down,
every single player, even if they only play 45 minutes, are still doing a full match warm up and a full match warm down.
Still taking part in everything.
Whether you play 40 minutes or 60 minutes, you're still taking part in the whole game. So it doesn't matter really about this resting players for 45 minutes stuff. I don't believe in it.
Show us is that we've been inept at the left back situation. I know it was a little bit out of our hands, but we're basically having to play Cancelo week in, week out because we haven't got a backup left back other than Zinchenko. And when you play Zinchenko, you've got to play Cancelo.
Yeah. Well, is Liam Delap still injured?
He's not even played for the EDS.
This Liam Delap situation is really frustrating me because there's been so many games this season where it's like, where's Delap?
Well, he turned up. I think he played for the EDS in what was it?
Not the other night.
They had a game. They had a game where he played. I think was it the same night as the West Ham game?
No, they played Friday. Played on Friday night.
Let's say that Pep rolls the die. Then let's say that Pep rolls the die and he goes full strength for both. Someone's going to get injured. Here's what I can quite easily see on Wednesday night.
It's just pointless doing that, though.
I know it's pointless, but it's Pep. Let's say that he goes Ederson, Walker, Stones, Laporte, Zinchenko, and then Rodri, Bernardo, Gundogan, Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, Mahrez on Wednesday, and then on Saturday, then at the weekend he goes Ederson, Walker, Stones, Diaz, Cancelo, Rodri, Gundogan, Bernardo, Foden, Grealish, Jesus or something like that. That's about the only rotation I can realistically see, unfortunately.
Can I throw one out here? And it's a bit of a mad one, considering the way he's been playing. With this false nine rubbish that we're doing at the minute, and I know everyone will be at me now. How can you call it rubbish? Yeah, I was about to say, everyone will call me rubbish because it's not working at the moment. Don't mean because it did work last year. I admit that. We won the league quite handsomely.
This season is not last season. I hate to say it, but if this season was last season, just watch replays of last season and don't
21-22, the false nine is not working statistically and the way we're watching at the moment. What is wrong with throwing Gabby back to number 9 for the time being, putting Foden to the left, and either doing... I know, but Sterling...
Then who do you play on the right?
Do you know what? Stick De Bruyne on the right.
De Bruyne's not got the legs for it anymore. This is the thing.
But I'm just talking the way.
Martin, this is why we did that video the other night, because we want people to not accuse us of heads gone, because we're all for dropping De Bruyne. Hands up right now in this conversation.
I did mention that on that video as well about De Bruyne, like when we were discussing playing De Bruyne and Bernardo together. A lot of the times it was on paper it would be Bernardo on the right and De Bruyne in midfield, and then it would be De Bruyne essentially.
De Bruyne stifles Bernardo. De Bruyne stifles Bernardo. Can anyone tell me, right, there's two of you here and me, one of you make a case for why De Bruyne should play at the minute? Can you make a case?
The only reason at the moment I would, because Foden at false 9 is the biggest waste of talent.
Right, but Foden should be playing on the left. All of us know a million times over that Foden should be playing on the left, and the only reason Foden's not playing on the left... When
he went out onto the left against Palace, we literally scored a goal. And it was only rolled out because of that marginal.
This is what I'm saying. why don't we just revert back to tie?
Because he's trying to incorporate Grealish. He's trying to, this is the big frustration that I have. This is the big frustration I have, Martin, because everyone keeps telling me that I've got a Grealish agenda, but my agenda is not necessarily completely based on his inability. It's also based on what it's doing to the starting 11. It's unbalancing us. It's unsettling us. And it's not working. It's not working.
This will be a bigger problem though against United. I don't think it'll be a problem against Bruges necessarily, because we were able to cut them open so easily in the first game.
So what we're thinking then, we're at the Etihad. It'll be an half-empty stadium probably.
I would go with Gabby Jesus up front and just give it a go and see.
No, Martin, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, Martin. But I think with Grealish in the team at the minute and Kevin De Bruyne in the team at the minute, we're a bit of a mess. But anyway, Club Brugge on Wednesday. What we're going to do to him? Is it going to be another 3-4, 5-0?
I'm going to go 4-0.
Yeah, I was thinking 4-0.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and I hope that people are actually paying attention because I hope you leave comments on this video.
We're not having to go at anybody. We're trying to
listen to what we're saying properly.
Report.
Listen to what we're saying properly, and try and if we're not explaining ourselves right, tell us in the comments, and we'll try and break it down, and we'll talk about it some more. Because we're not saying that Grealish is woeful, we're not saying De Bruyne's woeful. It's just we are having a lot of problems in that midfield transition in the final third at the minute with that sort of selection. So yes, while the Club Brugge game will probably be a high-scoring victory for City, it doesn't solve the underlying problems. So please leave comments, let us know, and we'll have a conversation about it. Yeah, we'll have a conversation about it. So thanks for joining us on this one. It's the Champions League. You know that we're not behind the competition as a whole. You know why we're not behind the competition, but we're still always going to back Manchester City. We appreciate everyone who comments. We appreciate all the feedback, and we hope that you'll join us again next time. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you all.